Welcome to the Great Circus Parade with Mike Jacobs, Terry Meeuwsen, Pat Sajak, and Vanna White. The Circus Parade is brought to you in part by Boston Store, where you'll find the best prices, selection, and service. Why shop anywhere else?
Good afternoon and welcome to Milwaukee's one and only Great Circus Parade. Terry Meeuwsen along with Mike Jacobs. Good to be here with you, Mike.
Terry, a perfect afternoon for a parade in Milwaukee, and hundreds of thousands of people have turned out for this event. It's interesting because this has been billed as the Great Circus Parade, and it seems that in the circus life, everything is called the biggest, the best, the greatest. I would say this one event certainly has the potential to live up to the billing, the Great Circus Parade.
Indeed, I think it does. I have heard that there have been people down here all night long, and they are standing, as you might well imagine, on a beautiful day like this, 12 and 13 deep to see this parade.
Indeed they are. I had a chance to walk up and down the parade route just before it started, and people are lined up from the curb as far back as the sidewalk will permit, and in fact, at many of the intersections, they're lined up 50 deep, people here to see the Great Circus Parade.
You hear the cheers going up as the first bands begin to make their way down the street, because these people have been waiting for so long and thoroughly enjoying themselves, but nonetheless anticipating this great event.
Chappie Fox, who is, I guess you'd have to call him the father of this event, was a bit surprised, in fact. When I spoke to him earlier, he was shocked at the number of people who had turned out. He indicated that, of course, it's been 12 years since the last Great Circus Parade in Milwaukee. He seemed to be a bit concerned that people might have forgotten. In fact, they clearly have not forgotten.
You know, I was listening to the radio on the way down here today, and they were interviewing some people who said that they've spent the entire day talking about what it was like when they grew up coming down to the parade. So I'm sure they've brought their children and grandchildren with them today, Mike.
That's what Chappie Fox seemed to indicate. Many of the people here have brought their children along. We can see now behind us the first event in the parade coming down Wisconsin Avenue, heading toward the west.
This should be the United States Army Band, I believe, from Fort Sheridan, Illinois, coming our way. People standing as the Stars and Stripes pass before them. What an appropriate way to begin this parade.
And you can see immediately the second unit, the U.S. Great Lakes Naval Training Center Band. Their presentation, the mast flags of all 50 straits, the Great Lakes Naval Training Center Band and their marching unit.
Warm sitting here, Mike.
The parade route goes on for 3.5 miles. We are located, our camera position is here at the intersection of Milwaukee and Wisconsin Avenue, just 1 block west of the Pfister Hotel. So these people are fresh as they march past our vantage point, but they have a long, long way to go.
People are stomping their feet and clapping their hands and just thoroughly enjoying every second of this. And here are the 50 state flags that you mentioned, Mike, coming past us right now.
Milwaukee, of course, is known as the city of festivals. In addition to Summerfest, Festa Italiana, all the others coming up, this could be called Circus Fest because it truly has taken on a circus-like atmosphere down here. The people you're seeing now are the grand marshals of this parade, Mike and Bobby Keelan. They are from Wauwatosa. They were the winners of a big drawing that occurred a couple of weeks ago. 9,000 people submitted contributions, and then their names were pulled out of the hat. A total of $17,000 raised to help contribute to this great parade.
And they look like they're really enjoying themselves, don't they?
They are indeed, and they are dressed in period costumes that have come from the Circus World Museum in Baraboo, Wisconsin. They've done everything they can possibly do to try and have this parade reflect the era. It's a period parade, and all the performers, 3,000 of them altogether, are dressed in costumes that have come from the Circus World Museum in Baraboo.
Coordinating all of this, of course, with the authenticity of the wagons and all of the other paraphernalia that come out of the Circus Museum. This is a beautiful, beautiful wagon and hitch. And of course, who should be in it?
The governor of the state
but
of
our
Wisconsin
own governor,
and his wife.
certainly.
Everyone getting applause today. And it's interesting, Terry, because the police motorcycle units that came by before this parade got started, rolling down Wisconsin Avenue, 10 abreast, clearing people to the side of the streets, even received applause today. So you can tell people are in a very festive mood.
Indeed they are. You know, it's fun to see. I'm sure that after a while for a politician being in as many parades as they are, it must get to be old hat. But Governor Earl looks like he is really enjoying himself today.
And the kids you can see along the way are as well. They are smiling and waving, and despite the sunshine, it is a little bit on the warm side out here. Although we do have a nice breeze coming off of Lake Michigan. Everyone seems to be having a very nice time, patiently waiting. And as you pointed out, a lot of folks have been here for a long time. They're having just a little bit of trouble with one of the animals in the next wagon, and that is the one carrying, of course, County Executive O'Donnell and his wife. The county exec has just said that Milwaukee County is likely to contribute to the circus parade next year, if there is a circus parade next year.
Well, if this turnout is any indication, Mike, I don't think there will be a question about it.
We're seeing now Mayor Meyer, and as you may recall, the mayor was not an ardent supporter of this event, and we are hearing boos as the mayor goes by. The mayor, of course, was supporting the City of Festivals parade, and under an agreement that was reached between the two parties, both parades were held this year, and they are to be held on alternating years from this point on, although there is some discussion now that they will in fact try and bring this parade back each and every year, but the outcome of that, of course, is yet to be seen. What we are seeing now are some antique automobiles that are an important part of this parade. They have gone to great efforts to try and line up dozens of antique automobiles from the period going back to the early 1900s, in addition to all of the old antique circus wagons that date back 75 plus years.
I can't imagine a crash in some of these would be too terrible an experience. These costumes are so beautiful. The authenticity is wonderful. I can't help but look at them, though, and be grateful, Mike, that we're not dressed like that today.
Indeed, you're right.
Here's a 1906 Cadillac coming into view. Probably in as good a condition today as it was the year it was made.
Probably better. It looks like it has been very well maintained as we look down the avenue and see the others coming on.
Oh, whoops.
Whoops is right. We've got one down there that's overheated, and I guess that's not terribly surprising.
You'll see it moving ahead in line here.
And it's getting applause as part of the big entertainment. Part of the problem, of course, is that these vehicles have to go so slowly during the parade, and they are not designed to do that. They are designed to roll quite a bit faster, and when they have to go slowly like this, they tend to overheat.
They are polished up and spit shine for this day, though, aren't they?
It is, of course, very appropriate that the circus parade be held here in Milwaukee because of the history the state of Wisconsin has for circus parades. As a matter of fact, Wisconsin is the birthplace of more than 100 traveling circuses that date back to 1847, and this would be the 138th anniversary of circus life in Wisconsin. Many of them got started up in the Baraboo area, of course. 26 of them, if you can believe that, came from Delavan alone.
Which is probably how the museum wound up in that part of the state as well, Mike.
Part of the reason, ironically, that the circuses were born here is because of the abundance of feed for the animals. Horses, of course, in the olden days were used to try and haul equipment and put up the tents, as were the elephants. And because Wisconsin is the dairy state, there was a natural abundance, a cheap supply of hay and oats and so on and so forth. And that is part of the reason that Wisconsin had so many parades and circuses.
Well, obviously the people like the fact that it is such a tradition of the state and this particular area as well. Here's a family that looks like they're having a good time today.
I wondered before this parade got started how many people were dressed in clown costumes and planned to enter the parade unannounced during the route.
Well, it's one way to see it, right?
Well, I think that would be fun. We're not going to encourage people to do that, of course, but it would be fun to participate. We've got clowns who have come in from all over the country. Of course, the most notable would be Earnest Borgnine and his wife Tova, who have made a special appearance here. Alderman Paul Henningsen.
Traveling in style today.
I don't know if you see the golf clubs there on the,
yes,
on the back of that, right by the rumble seat.
Now, this is the way to campaign, Mike. As we see Jim Sensenbrenner go by.
There's Congressman Sensenbrenner. People have been so well behaved down here. On a hot day, I think it says a lot about the people in Milwaukee and southeast Wisconsin who come out to an event like this.
Well, and lots of families down here, too.
As we were sitting here waiting for the parade to begin, you recall the woman walked by carrying the baby in her arms, and I asked her how old the baby was. 2 weeks old. So from the very young to the very old, and virtually everyone enjoying it. Congressman Jim Moody back in town for this event.
I'm getting a nice hand as he goes by. And Gordon Hinckley from WTMJ Radio.
Hi, Gordy.
Now that car was made for Gordon, I'll tell you.
And Senator Bob Caston.
That's That's a beautiful car. Picnic basket on tow in the back end. They're ready for a great day.
You're seeing now the 1st Brigade Band and Military Color Guard of Milwaukee, 30 bandsmen. They are playing authentic reproductions of Civil War band instruments, and they are also using the original scores.
Now, in these dark colors, you can imagine just how warm these gentlemen must be as they're playing these old instruments and walking down the street on this hot, sunny day. Notice how differently the horns are shaped, too.
Those are the originals, antiques, one and all.
I understand that the reason they're shaped like that, Mike, is they used to ride in front of the horse brigade when they were going into battle, and they needed to alert them and let them hear the charge as they sounded it.
What you're seeing now, the horse-drawn streetcar, it's an antique streetcar from Wisconsin Electric Power Company, and it is carrying winners of the Journal's Children's Coloring Contest.
All authentically dressed, as everyone else in the parade has been. Now there's a Milwaukee tradition.
You'll be seeing many, many bands, of course, throughout the parade this afternoon, and as part of the effort to keep that old-time flavor, all of the music has to have been composed before 1939. All the circus music has to be old-time music. Nothing modern, nothing contemporary, and that should be a special treat throughout the day.
You know, they have really organized this well. So many times when you come to a parade, there are great lapses between the various events coming down the street, and this is just beautifully timed.
And of course the sign on the side there indicated that this was the 150th birthday of Milwaukee County, so double reason for celebration.
Here comes an old police patrol car. Siren not too different from those today.
This dates back to almost the turn of the century, so it is an oldie.
Oh, look at the outfit on the fellow in the car.
And inside, policemen dressed in turn of the century uniforms as well. Here we go, the high-wheelers. Bicyclists, those look like fun. They look
sure
like
do.
they would take a lot of work and a lot of practice, and they are certainly getting a lot of welcome from the crowd here today, but these again date back to almost 1900.
You don't see those around every day.
No hands.
Or feet. Look at this fella. I always wonder when I see something like that, Mike, how does one first attempt that?
Very carefully.
And coming into view now, Mike, is the Wisconsin Lutheran High School Viking Band of Milwaukee.
There you can see them. Well, of course, the high-wheelers and the politicians and the antique cars and so on and so forth have been very warmly received. And this is just the beginning, because the parade itself with the antique wagons and the animals and the clowns will be arriving in our vantage point in just a few minutes, but I'm sure they too will be getting a huge reception, because just this warm-up is getting a tremendous response from people.
Nothing like a parade to get people psyched up again. And this band is doing that.
This parade, the good friend of Ben Barkin, Earnest Borgnine.
He and his wife were out here earlier just walking around talking with people, and really lovely folks.
What a nice guy.
An honor for Milwaukee to have them here. And you can hear the crowds as they greet him now and let him know just how happy they are that he's in Milwaukee today.
And we'll be back with more coverage of the Great Circus Parade in just a minute with Pat Sajak
and Vanna White.
Hi, I'm Bob Dolan of Channel 4. Your response to our free golf ball giveaway has been unbelievable, and now we want to make it easier for you to get those free golf balls. Just send 4 of these coupons from County Golf Course scorecards and mail them to Golf Balls, Channel 4, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53201, and we'll send you 3 free golf balls. There's a limit of 3 balls per person, and the offer is good until August 31st. So we still want to help your golf game. We just didn't realize how many people needed help. Enjoy it.
WTMJ-TV Channel 4 has begun an experiment with the audio portion of our signal. We've received state-of-the-art equipment that will enable us to transmit the sound portion of our broadcasts in stereo. The results of these tests and response from you, our viewers, will help determine if and when we will convert to full-time stereo transmission. Let us know what you think by sending us a note with your impressions. The address is Stereo Test in care of Channel 4, Post Office Box 444, Milwaukee, 53201. Thank you for your input.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pat Sajak, and greetings to all of you from Milwaukee.
And I'm Vanna White. Welcome to the Great Circus Parade, coming down Wisconsin Avenue.
Now, as you know, you usually find us on Wheel of Fortune, but something really fortunate happened to us along the way.
That's right. It was a big bonus round, and the category was a place. Then Pat spun the wheel, I flipped over the letters, and spelled out the magic word.
What's that?
Milwaukee.
Why Milwaukee? Well, believe it or not, Virginia may have been the cradle of presidents, but Wisconsin has been the birthplace of more than 100 circuses.
In fact, at one time in the past, this state was better known for circuses than cheese.
I know you looked that up, didn't you, as a matter of fact. And thanks to the fine Circus World Museum in Baraboo, Wisconsin, our big parade of more than 110 units will include 58 antique circus wagons gathered from all over the United States and Europe.
Plus great clowns, fine, powerful horses, exotic wild animals, and exciting bands.
What a lineup. And to give you just an idea of what this unique spectacle will be like, let's turn over all the letters now and spell out some special words from circus people.
What about mighty, magnificent?
Towering, triumphant, and that describes only the first circus wagon, so let's get to it. And the first of our many beautiful antique circus wagons for today in the Great Circus Parade is this one, pulled by a hitch of 8 sturdy Belgian horses. And for those of you who've had the pleasure of a trip to France, here's a pleasant reminder in one of the most graceful wagons ever built. It is a beauty. Constructed in 1905, the stunning gold wood carvings on the sides of the Swan bandwagon were inspired by the stone statuary in the fountains of the magnificent Palace of Versailles. And this ought to get a great reaction today from the crowds, because here in Milwaukee, of course, celebrating Bastille Day. You know, circus bandwagons were designed to carry circus bands, of course, in parades. That's just what they're doing. We have 18 musicians up there from Baraboo, Wisconsin, directed by Professor Gerald Stitch.
We should have a musical fanfare for the celebrity riding in Vernon Albert's vintage carriage. The gentleman is Merle Evans. For 50 years, the bandmaster of Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. And he's the only person with us today who has appeared in daily circus parades for over 65 years.
I was thinking he's having as good a time today as he did 65 years ago. Look at him.
I agree with you. There he is, Merle Evans.
Going way back in English history, here's the mounted court of Queen Elizabeth, all in elaborate costumes of the era. With the Queen, of course, there's handsome, gallant Sir Walter Raleigh. We all know the story, how he spread his cape over a mud puddle as the Queen approached and uttered that immortal phrase, "Step on it, Queenie," or something like that. I'm not good at immortal phrases. I have a feeling we're going to see some great colors here today. Look at that. Even the horses appear to be enjoying themselves.
Yes, they do.
Now, coming up is a marching band, and believe me, you're going to see plenty of them and hear plenty of great music today, because there are 16 marching bands in today's parade. This band is the Dundee Crown High School Band of Carpentersville, Illinois. Do I hear bagpipes?
I think you do.
Superstation WTBS is bringing you the Great Circus Parade here in Milwaukee. This is the first time a parade has ever been presented in stereo sound. So be careful, Vanna. If we make a mistake, it's counted twice against us. And friends, if you're enjoying the show, please let the good folks at WTBS hear from you. They'll all be waiting anxiously at their mailbox. I think Mr. Turner's down at his right now, waiting for a mailgram.
Well, snakes alive. That's what crowds might have guessed watching this unusual snake den wagon at Ringling Brothers Parade at the turn of the century. The wood-carved girls and snakes wound around their bodies. And in those days, a lovely snake charmer sat behind the plate glass side, handling enormous reptiles.
Ew, that scares me thinking about that. Actually, I understand it's very easy to charm snakes. You just have to let them know that you are not afraid of them. That's the key right there.
Well, I guess I could never charm a snake.
You could charm anything, Vanna, don't worry.
Ah.
Look at that. Well, you know, even in a parade which doesn't feature mechanical apparatus very much, occasionally we get a little stoppage here. You know, horses have to rest too. It's a long parade. We haven't had a count of the animals, but they are all beautiful. And look at that. I think they're counting right now. Well, in the entertainment world, there are small stars and big stars, and now you're meeting 8 of the very biggest, these famous Clydesdales from Anheuser-Busch.
Well, just how big are they?
Glad you asked that. I've done some research. 2,000 pounds apiece. They stand 6 feet high. Now, if you're a real horse lover and want to take one out to dinner, they'll eat 30 quarts of choice feed, 60 pounds of prime hay, and they'll drink 30 gallons of vintage water, and they never pick up the check either. They're terrible as a dinner date, but they're beautiful animals to see in a parade. Well, down through the years, circuses would come and go, like the Greater Norrisan Row. That became the Lesser Norrisan Row about 1910. And here's a charming relic of its street parade called a tally-ho wagon, which they actually used for their circus band. By the way, they found this vehicle in San Francisco in 1961 in a collection there, and here it is in the circus parade.
Here we have the Grafton High School Blackhawks from Grafton, Wisconsin.
Now, we'll be quiet and let them do the work. And what is a circus parade without clowns? You'll see lots of them today. It takes a lot of people to put on a big event like the Great Circus Parade, but it's literally true that it couldn't be done without the guiding force of one man. That's our genial genius here in Milwaukee, Ben Barkin. Ben does a lot of everything, from picking up sandwiches for his office staff to raising millions of dollars for parade sponsors. So, from us and our staff and people all over America enjoying the show, our sincerest thanks. By the way, Ben, if you stop by Jake's Skeleton, listen, could you pick up a pastrami and rye for Vanna and me? Thank you very much. Boy, this is a beauty coming up. Pulled by 6 beautiful Belgian horses, here's one of the most magnificent wagons in the Great Circus Parade. It's called a telescoping tableau wagon because the stunning group of gold figures is mechanically raised and lowered into the body of the wagon. This dates back to the 1860s in England. Its superb gold and wood sculptures really belong in a museum, and of course, well, that's where it is, because you can see it at the Circus World at Baraboo, Wisconsin. So what they do is crank that top down and they get under those low-hanging branches, other obstacles, none of which are along the parade route, I'm happy to say.
Look what we have here, a combination tableau and cage wagon that's literally a moving work of art. There's a painted side that can be removed to reveal the wild animal inside.
What's in there now, do you reckon?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we can hear it if we listen.
I don't know. I'll go put my ear to it.
Sometimes these caged wagons were kept completely covered during a parade to let the crowd's imagination run wild about what was making those amazing sounds.
So, folks at home, you let your imaginations run wild and let us know what's in there, okay? Sounds like a duck to me, actually. Now, for you youngsters watching, here's a real treat in our Great Circus Parade from Milwaukee. These 8 cute ponies driven by their owner, Otis Rupp of Streator, Illinois. The antique bandwagon they're pulling is a colorful reminder that circuses have always been popular in continental Europe. In fact, even today, some of the best circus acts originate there. Way back before World War I, the Royal Italian Circus visited England and played throughout the country. Now we're going to fast forward to today, and we have music up there by Hal Edwards' lively band of musicians. Pulled by 6 mighty Percherons, here's a handsome Sells Floto den wagon for showing its wild animals. Today there are 3 real live Royal Bengal tigers in the cages. And look at those guys. Are they guys? I don't know. And I'm happy to announce there's a real iron bars, too. This one is a working wagon with a chute down one side so the animals could be moved right into the big cage during the show. Vanna will get you in there with a whip, and I think you'll do well.
Well, I need an insurance policy in my pocket, too.
Thank you, Gunther Gable White. We need peanuts. We don't have any peanuts.
We'll get you some. Many of the old circuses had special sections in their parades for children. Naturally pulled by ponies, this Gold Beauty shows the old nursery rhyme of the old woman who lived in a shoe. Remember? She had so many children she didn't know what to do, so she spanked them all soundly and put them to bed.
And invited over her boyfriend named Fred.
No, I don't think that's right.
I don't remember my nursery rhymes. I'm sorry. That's cute, though. I like that.
Yeah, that brings back some nice memories. Here we have the Lake Band of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it's a combined band. Got a great sounding combination.
Boston Store welcomes the return of the Circus Parade to our great hometown, Milwaukee. It's been 12 years since Milwaukee's last Circus Parade, and in that time, the city has grown. We've grown, too, to reflect our customers' needs. When you asked for affordable quality, we answered with our Certified Value program. We expanded your favorite departments to give you selection that's second to none. And to answer your questions 24 hours a day, we installed our exclusive customer hotline. We're especially proud of our price policy. We will not knowingly be undersold. We'll meet all competitors' regular and sale prices on identical in-stock merchandise. Just tell us about it, and we'll make it right. That's our promise. As part of our commitment to Milwaukee and Wisconsin, we will constantly strive to give you the best prices, best selection, and best service. Now more than ever, your best buy is at Boston Store.
When you make an investment decision to buy or sell stocks or bonds, turn to First Wisconsin Investment Services. Fast service, personal attention, up-to-the-minute market information. And compared to full-cost brokers, you'll reduce the cost up to 50% and more. First Wisconsin Investment Services. For people who make decisions.
Annie, Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Mr. Kraft, your macaroni and cheese has more cheese than anyone's, right?
Right.
It tastes the cheesiest.
Right.
So it should be called cheese macaroni.
Annie, great idea.
Kraft macaroni and cheese has more cheese than any other brand. That's why it tastes the best.
Annie.
They might change the name, Mom. Oh? I got it straight from the top.
Kraft cheese and macaroni, the cheesiest.
About the time Car and Driver magazine stated that at Audi, the future of the automobile is being decided, so many people decided to buy the Audi 5000S it became America's fastest-selling European sedan. And now you can lease an Audi 5000S for $298 a month.
By this time, I'm sure a lot of you folks like us, who were born after the great days of tent circuses, are wondering, just what was a circus parade?
Well, believe it or not, it was the most effective form of advertising ever conceived by man.
Are you listening, Madison Avenue?
Well, probably not, but as the old-time circus press agents put it, the parade enticed townspeople to the showgrounds with sights, smells, and sounds of a tented city too great to resist.
It was a colorful pageant, a winding, dazzling river of gold and silver.
River, hey? An immense cavalcade of costly trappings, a caravan of princely wealth.
Triumphant floats and barges. The splendor of their gorgeous and colossal carriages, baffling description.
I can top that. Floods of music, glittering sights of joy, a mile of gleaming, golden glint and glistening glamour.
Well, why go on?
Good question.
See for yourself.
That's right. This unusual and exotic temple tableau wagon thrilled English crowds watching the parade of the once famous...
From jolly old England, this glorious wagon called the Star Tableau from their oldest circus. If your eyes aren't too dazzled by the amazing colors and decorations, you'll see it gets that name from this arch of 7 stars in the lowest tier. During a parade, a lovely lady performer always sat on that special dragon chair.
Those of you who joined us will be interested to know that this is a Great Circus Parade in Milwaukee, and it is really an all-community affair. And this spectacular bandwagon, pulled by 8 powerful Belgian horses, was built in 1971 by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company, who sponsored the parade for 11 years. The magnificent wood carvings on the wagon are by William Thalmeyer of Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Orange and silver, a unique color combination on this cage wagon, originally from Hal's Great London Circus of 1920. It's possible you might have seen this beauty before because it was used in several Hollywood movies.
What were some of those movies?
Oh, I don't know. I have to look that up.
All right, I just thought I'd ask.
Ooh, look at that. Woo!
Wow, look.
That's a leopard.
It is. I recognize him by his spots. I remember my leopard classes in school. He looks upset about something. I don't know. Is it my imagination? Wow. By the way, riding on top of that wagon was Harry Blackstone, Jr., the very famous magician. Now, this is called a beauty tableau for obvious reasons, and those beauties on the sides and ends are fine examples of the American woodcarver's art. Originally built in the 1890s, it was completely restored at the Circus World Museum. You know, Vanna, it's not easy using modern-day power tools to restore these beautiful carvings because they were done by hand originally.
So why do they use power tools?
You're getting even for me for asking the question about which movies. I want to be a clown.
Do you? There's a clown right there.
I know. That looks like it. You know, how could you ask for more fun? You dress up, you wave at kids, they smile back at you. Somebody must have just said, giddy up.
Now here is, coming up I should say, the Baraboo High School Band from the home of the Circus World Museum.
And there they are, sounding good.
tableau wagon gets its name from the diamond-shaped painting of a lion and lioness on one side, and on the other, a snarling tiger. Notice the decorations on all circus wagons include fancy, colorful wheels. And if you listen closely, you can hear their unique grinding sounds. There were special companies that made only circus wagon wheels.
Wagon Wheels Are Us. I've been there. It's a very small chain. Now, I have a question for you. The stilt-walking clown. How does he get up on those tall stilts?
What I want to know is how he puts on those long pants.
It's a much better question. This is interesting. This is a unique chimes wagon. This is from the famous Cole Brothers Circus of days gone by. Inside, there's a musical instrument called the shaker chimes, and each one is shaken individually by the musician. In this case, we're talking about Ira Perry, and that will produce that musical sound. And we'll watch Ira at work, and watch the Cole Brothers Circus wagon go by. There are those chimes we're talking about. Looks like a lot of them to play there.
Yes,
I guess each one makes its own sound, and Ira seems to know what he's doing.
Listen, you can hear it.
Circus fans during the early 1900s, Australia was a far-off, little-known continent, and so this wagon and its charming painting of kangaroos whetted their appetites about the strange fauna and flora and wildlife down under. However, the bad news is there usually weren't kangaroos inside, and I don't think there are in this case. Of the parade from up there, you know?
Now we know we have one of the biggest and best bandwagons here because it takes 8 powerful Percheron horses to pull it. A stunning red and gold tableau to salute Great Britain with a 24-carat John Bull on the side. It was actually built in Cincinnati in 1910. That's fine music, too, from the 15 bandmen on top, led by Lee Matthews.
Little trivia, if you're interested, the late Harry James, the great band leader, was the son of a circus band leader, and Harry actually grew up playing trumpet on just such a wagon.
A fine group of equestrians from the Wisconsin Quarter Horse Association.
An interesting international combination of 4 Norwegian fjord horses pulling an authentic British Royal Mail coach now. Like all such coaches, it not only carried mail, but also passengers, as we see here, wearing vintage English costumes. And after the British government retired it, the circus people acquired it. And here it is, in Milwaukee.
Now one of the most ornate cage wagons from the Circus World Museum. The highly decorated framework with scalloped edges creates the appearance of 2 moving picture frames. And completing the pictures are 2 mighty African lions. Ooh.
Roaring along. Get it? Why? That looks like just one of the clowns in the parade, huh? And an aerialist back here, you'd think. No, no, no. Au contraire, we have Earnest Borgnine and his lovely wife, Tova. How are you, Ernie?
Well, I want to tell you, we are having the time of our lives.
A logical question. Why is Earnest Borgnine dressed up like a clown?
Are you kidding? Who wouldn't want to be dressed up as a clown today? This is the most magnificent parade we've ever been in.
Yeah, you look great. Now, have you ever been an aerialist? You've never done any of this stuff, have you, Tova?
If you're going to be an aerialist and dressed in a Bob Mackie creation, let's face it, it's the best. I tell you, I've become 2 years old since Thursday. We have had more fun This Ben Barkin has created the magic of all for all ages.
You can't help but turn into a kid. Ernie, you look too good to stand here and talk. Get out there and entertain those kids along the parade route.
Sure will.
Earnest Borgnine and Toba. Thanks, Ernie.
Great.
Boy, look good, huh?
Yes, what fun, huh?
And this is the Lighthouse Brigade Marching Band from Racine, Wisconsin.
Boston Store's semi-annual furniture sale is on now, and everything's on sale at 20 to 60% off. Everything's on sale, including famous names like Henredon, Century, Barcalounger, Stearns & Foster, and Cabin Craft. Everything's on sale, including living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, wall systems, upholstered furniture, carpeting, accents, and more at 20 to 60% off. Plus, if you use your CIP account during Boston Store's semi-annual furniture sale, we won't bill you until November 1st on purchases of $250 or more. Ask us about it. Everything's on sale at 20 to 60% off during Boston Store's semi-annual furniture sale. On now at Grand Avenue, Brookfield, Northridge, and Southridge. You know you can shop with confidence at Boston Store. We're committed to giving you complete customer satisfaction. So, why shop anywhere else?
This bud's for everyone who scrapes it, sprays it, and lays it on smooth.
This bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This bud's for you.
We're celebrating the opening of the brand new Jack Safro Nissan on South 27th Street and the expansion going on at Jack Safro Toyota in Brookfield. We're celebrating, but it's your chance to save. Save on Wisconsin's largest selection of new Toyotas and save on a huge selection of brand new Nissans. Save on a great selection of used cars and trucks. Now at Jack Safro Toyota, 204th and Capitol Drive in Brookfield, or the brand new Jack Safro Nissan, just south of 894 on South 27th Street.
Way out here on Highway 1, it's the same old thing each day. Nothing much to talk about till this new chip came my way. My first bite was pure delight, and my mind began to race. Cheddar cheese and sour cream, now that's some kind of thing. Everybody wants new Ruffles, Ruffles red potato chips. Everybody wants some cheddar cheese and some sour cream. A whole new kind of chip cuisine. Everybody wants new Ruffles red potato chips.
For those who just joined us for the Great Circus Parade, I'm Vanna White.
And I'm Pat Sajak. We're from Wheel of Fortune, but we're taking a short vacation for our show to enjoy an exciting day here in Milwaukee at the invitation of good old Superstation WTBS.
And Pat, we have a super parade going on, so let's get back to it. What a lovely, charming float that once rolled along in the children's section of the Great Circus Parades. It was built for the Barnum and Bailey Circus in the mid-1880s. It recreates in gold that thrilling moment when Cinderella waits breathlessly as her Prince Charming kneels to find out if the famous glass slipper fits her dainty foot.
What if it doesn't fit?
Of course it'll fit. Fairy tales always have happy endings.
I never thought of that. Thrown to the lions. That was a command common by Roman emperors. What a sad thought. Nevertheless, this was the typical scene that followed as depicted on this famous lion and gladiator wagon from Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. It was built around 1910. In old circus days, this rich red and gold beauty might have carried a troupe of Chinese acrobats or a clown band. The riders today are all real working performers, by the way, including Master Clown Frosty Little, who does a hilarious act around here with his dog Sky.
A fine, handsome carriage fit for royalty. In this case, circus royalty. Mr. Kenneth Feld, president and producer producer of Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus, with his wife Bonnie and 3 lovely daughters. They're obviously enjoying themselves. And just before the start, we asked Mr. Feld why parades like this faded from the circus scene.
Today, Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus has a parade, but we use it by getting our animals from the train to the arena. In the old days, a parade such as this was really a substitute for television advertising, which of course they didn't have. So it's fantastic that my whole family can participate in this recreation of circus history.
Been around circuses for a long time, and they're still having a great time. You folks at home, drop everything now and watch one of the most famous of all circus attractions, the Bell Wagon, also known in old circus hype as the mighty bells from Moscow's Kremlin. One of the first parade wagons ever bought by the newly established Ringling Brothers Circus back in 1892. It has 9 enormous bronze bells, and boy, you can hear them here. They weigh more than 4,000 pounds, and the sound can be heard from many blocks away. And when you're many feet away as we are, you can also hear them very plainly. The bell ringer sits at the rear of the wagon using 9 spring-loaded levers that release the clappers and strike the bells.
It's interesting that circuses with their daring performers and ferocious animals also gave a lot of attention to nursery rhymes and fairy tales. On one side of the wagon features Little Red Riding Hood, and the other, Peter Peter Pumpkin Eater.
Put his wife in a pumpkin shell,
and
right?
there he kept her very well. Coming to life on the top are the 3 bears, the Cat and the Fiddle, and Little Jack Horner.
And he put his thumb in the plum or something like that. I'm getting better at the fairy tales. Riding up now to save the day is the Madre's Light Cavalry Troop. These fine horsemen come from Baraboo and other cities of Wisconsin. I understand the very first cavalry troops were used by the ancient Egyptians, and the last ones appeared only briefly at the beginning of World War II. Now they thrive, I think, only in insurance commercials. See, they're just waiting for someone to say charge, like a good cavalry troop should. Yeah, that's what this parade's all about. The kids having a great day in Milwaukee.
Looks like a lot of people are having a great day here.
I think that's because we're all kids, that's why. You folks at home, wave back. Have you been keeping track of the horses? Have you been counting them as they've gone by?
No, I haven't. There's been so many.
Start now. And there goes the cavalry.
The gentleman driving this carriage, Mr. A.M. Stubb Johnson of Spencer, Iowa. Stubb claims anybody can hitch up horses, so why not these 4 llamas? Look at that. Makes sense to me. High in the Andes Mountains, they're as strong and useful as any other kind of beast of burden. The question is, how do you tell the difference between a papa llama and a mama llama?
I think you have to ask Stubb. They're doing a nice job, those llamas. I had no idea. Coming up now, the Brookfield Central High School Lancers Band from Brookfield, Wisconsin, 70 members strong.
Indulge yourself in shimmering savings during Boston Store's fine jewelry sale. You'll save 50% on all 14-karat gold chains and charms, 50% on all 14-karat gold earrings, 50% on all diamond jewelry, 50% on all 14-karat gold rings, and 50% on all cultured pearls. Fine jewelry at fabulous 50% savings. It's Boston Store's fine jewelry sale on now at all Boston stores.
Strength, pride, tradition. For centuries, the Clydesdales have been known as a special breed. Today, the Clydesdales symbolize Budweiser's dedication to quality, superior ingredients, exclusive beechwood aging, and a distinctively clean, crisp taste only Budweiser can offer. Quality taste, because this Bud's for you.
I think I'll take this one. Would you like that gift wrap? No, thanks. It's just for me.
Nice.
Cash or charge? Check. I'll need 2 forms of ID. Oh, and Line MasterCard, too. Mm-hmm. It works just like a check.
You mean the money comes right out of your checking account?
Just like a check.
Convenient. I could use one of those.
You should get one. You better add this umbrella, too.
Elan MasterCard, too. Checking will never be the same.
The parade isn't over yet. Head on over to your Team Nissan dealer for great savings on a special allocation of Nissan Circus cars. Through Saturday, save on Sentras, Stanzas, Maximas, every car and truck marked down hundreds for the great Nissan tent sale. So get to Phil Token, Country and Racine, Wild Waukesha, Jack Safro, Ken Alsman, or Burt Nissan and save like never before.
It's exciting, it's breathtaking, it's authentic. It's the Circus World Museum, where the parade passes by every day, and there's always a lot of clowning around. Experience the ride of your lifetime, take in the history, and direct your attention to the center ring. It's a hair-raising experience. At times, you won't believe your very eyes. Spend a fun-filled day where life is a real circus. It's all in Baraboo, Wisconsin, at the Circus World Museum, open daily through September 8th.
I'm sure you've all been enjoying the fabulous sights of the Great Circus Parade here in Milwaukee. But it also has some unique and exciting sounds.
Right. For instance, the sound of as many as 32 horses' hooves clopping on the pavement.
And those wagon wheels, they have a lateral motion when turning on the tapered axle that makes it a deep-throated knocking sound.
Plus chimes and bells and special wagons, and of course, the raucous music of the calliops, as the circus people pronounce it. Be sure to brace yourself, though, for that last one is the big one.
But have you noticed there is one sound completely missing from this parade?
And what a nice change, too, because there's absolutely nothing mechanical here today.
That's right. No cars, no trucks, no motorcycles. Ah, yes, for one day and one day only, just the wonderful noise of those good old circus days.
Come on, let's go see some more. Let's welcome these members of the Wisconsin Horse Owners Association, transformed from the day into mounted warriors of the old Ottoman Empire. Dashing, fierce, and colorful, they were famous as the world's most ruthless warriors. Hard to imagine one of these coming home later and saying, "Hey, Ethel, what's for dinner?"
Had a rather natural sound to it. Well, circus wagons were so big and sturdy, they were known as Rocks of Gibraltar. And you can see why from this colossal beauty of the old Christie Brothers Circus, dedicated to the continent of Asia. Now, if you look closely when it comes by, you'll be able to pick out the wood carvings of various nations, China, Ceylon, Afghanistan, and others. And riding on top, portraying Asian natives, are ladies of the Baraboo JCs. Hi, ladies. well. This was built in 1902. Believe it or not.
Always a big hit with kids. This bright yellow cage wagon, pulled by ponies, came from the old Terrell Jacobs Circus, and the kids of all ages here in Milwaukee seem to be enjoying it as well.
Is that another leopard?
That's what it looks like to me. He seems a little calmer.
Yeah, that's the way I like them. I like my leopards asleep. Are we watching the leopard, or is the leopard watching us? Very difficult to tell.
I'm just glad he's behind those bars.
Pulled by a half-dozen handsome Clydesdales, this glorious blue, white, and gold tableau wagon called the Seashell Tableau dates back to the early 1900s. And the name comes, of course, from that elegant gold-carved seashell you see on the side. Oh, we have a switch here. Instead of the traditional circus tunes, it's good old Dixieland music played by the Basin Street Saloon Band.
The parade now takes us into the center ring of the circus with these four lovely ladies with horses and carts. And believe me, they've come a long way to give us this special performance. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you Joy Spare, Victorine Pierce, Betty O'Brien, and Marilyn Thomas from the great state of Iowa.
A Terrell Jacobs Circus cage wagon pulled by 6 cute ponies up next. I'm told there are to be some baboons in the cages. Will there be baboons in the cage?
We shall soon see. There they are.
I think those are baboons. They're owned by Mark Schobel, by the way. They look pretty real, though, and pretty human, that is. I know they're real. Mark could belong to them. You never know. Some baboon watchers?
I think he heard you. By this time, most of you probably know our Great Circus Parade coincides with one of Milwaukee's most famous festivals, Bastille Day, the French counterpart of our Independence Day. So hats off, or should I say berets off, to this fine old wagon carrying a really big French flag. And if we were back at Wheel of Fortune, we'd spell out the famous slogan, Vive la France.
Now, probably the most famous horsemen in history, the Three Musketeers, joining us by way of Baraboo, Wisconsin. Okay, Vanna, a quiz. What are the names of the original Musketeers? I'll give you a hint, not Curly, Moe, and Larry.
Let's see. Athos?
Mm-hmm.
Porthos?
Yeah.
I'd like to try a vowel.
Okay.
I'll try an A.
Yeah, there are 2 A's, first and third letter.
How about an R?
Second letter.
All right, I know it. It's Aramis.
Very good. You win a ceramic duck. Congratulations to you. Now, pulled by 6 fine Belgian horses, this colorful wagon proudly proclaims that it's dedicated to La Belle France. And on the side, the national emblem, and it is done in elaborate scroll work there. And it's going to get a lot of cheers here because this is Bastille Day, of course. Big celebration in Milwaukee. Well, I guess by rights, the circus band on top, led by Lee Parinto, should be playing the French national anthem, but whatever they're playing sounds good to me.
Oui, oui. Let's say hello to Teresa Von Ruden of Juneau, Wisconsin, who's portraying the famous Maid of Orleans, Joan of Arc. Hers was an amazing story when you stop to think about it. First, a simple peasant girl, then a fine military leader, and finally, a saint.
And then I think she went on to Knots Landing, if I was somebody else. Normally, these gentlemen are residents of Beaver Dam, New Holstein, and Juneau, Wisconsin, but today, don't they look marvelous in our parade as mounted knights in shining armor, probably seeking to rescue some damsel in distress. Vanna, if you were a damsel in distress, I would rescue you, believe me.
Oh, that's sweet of you, Pat.
Not serious distress. I'm talking about, a traffic jam or something like that. Let's not get carried away.
Thanks.
Warm day to be wearing armor, huh?
Mm-hmm.
This is it, the fashion excitement for Fall 85. The tones, the textures, the total look. It's Liz Claiborne, and you'll find it at Boston Store. Color's the story, and Claiborne is vibrant. She's Liz Sport, making a splash this fall in a weekend collection that's relaxed and easy. Or discover Liz Claiborne in Liz Wear, a casual collection that's big news this fall. Colorful, spirited, and ready for fun. Claiborne also redefines your career look this fall with Liz Spectator. Lustrous knits in a palette of bold, rich colors. Sumptuous fabrics and softly draped silhouettes, and classic winter whites and navies of understated elegance. It's a relaxed attitude that means beautiful business. A perfect sense of style, impeccably tailored and totally feminine. Liz Sport, Liz Wear, and Liz Spectator. 3 distinctive collections that reflect Liz Claiborne for Fall 85. And you'll find them all at Boston Store.
If a painting problem has you stumped, let the experts at your True Value hardware store give you a lift. This Werner's 16-foot aluminum extension ladder is only $43.99 and has treaded steps for better footing. And before you paint, seal those energy-wasting cracks around doors, windows, and masonry with GE sealants. Your choice, only $3.88. Then finish the job faster and get better results with the Wagner 10-piece airless paint sprayer, only $88.88 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
The Force is here. The ultimate force. The world's first and only sea coaster. Designed to turn and twist and dive like no other force on Earth. Come ride the Sea Force, only at Six Flags Great America.
This Bud's for everyone who scrapes it, sprays it, and lays it on smooth.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
We've been seeing some magnificent horses in this parade, often known as circus royalty.
And they should be, too. They do lots of things. In the good old days, horses pulled the heavy parade wagons, struggled with lions that raised poles and lifted tents, and, of course, they were also star performers in the center ring.
Take the Percherons, named after the region in France where they originated, La Perche. And they're very strong, but, you know, they can also be taught to dance or roll a barrel.
Now, Belgians are the champion pullers. They usually win the log pulling contest at county fairs, but they're so gentle, they can be led by a child.
And, of course, the famous Clydesdale, the pride of Scotland, recognized by those fine feathers on their feet. And, you know, they also have heavy hindquarters.
Something you can develop, too, by watching too much television, so watch that.
So, back to our Milwaukee parade and more great circus horses clombing down Western Avenue.
Where are we?
Wisconsin Avenue.
We moved
Excuse
since
me.
earlier in the parade.
The South Milwaukee High School Rocket Band from Cudahy, Wisconsin.
I'll tell you, the famous Circus World Museum in Baraboo, Wisconsin. It's really a fascinating place, and you'll want to visit it someday. We personally want to thank Greg Parkinson, director of the museum, also Bob Parkinson, director of the parade, for their great efforts in our behalf. And by all means, the one and only Chappie Fox, the world's foremost circus authority.
A romantic scene from the golden age of chivalry. A handsome knight with his lady fair. Wouldn't it have been great to live back there when knighthood was in flower?
Heck yeah, I think I'd be a good one.
It is one of the most spectacular parade vehicles ever built. The red wagon body is trimmed in gold and white, but the enormous wood-carved two-headed dragon is painted green. That's what you just saw.
I like it.
There it is.
You know, two-headed dragons are the rarest dragons, by the way. I looked that up, too.
Mr. Clown.
Well, it looks and feels as if all of Milwaukee and surrounding areas turned out for this parade. There's some of the happy faces looking on. You know, in circuses of the old days, a small cage wagon like this was called a cross cage. Not because the animal was mad inside. This kind of wagon was shorter than the railroad flat car was wide, so it could be loaded crossways between the bigger wagons. That leopard, by the way, belongs to William Woodcock of Baraboo, Wisconsin. Turns out to be William's paper boy. Horses know what they're pulling. There's a leopard in there, guys. Know it.
Say, you folks at home, call the rest of the family to come have a look at this huge, fascinating wagon. And its name is just as impressive. Let's see if I can get this right. The Orchis Melichor.
Who's going to know if you're wrong?
The Golden Voice Orchestra, the Golden Voiced Organ of Vienna. In the original Barnum and London Circus of 1882, it carried that marvelous portable organ, unfortunately long since removed. But we do have music from the Gilmore Brothers of Baraboo, playing bagpipes. Circus fans all over about Barnum and Bailey, but everybody knows who Barnum and Bailey is, but who's Hutchinson? He was the third partner who they proudly paraded the stunning cage wagon almost 90 years ago. Today it's being shown with the sides closed. It's a rolling museum of the woodcarver's art. If you ever found one of those masterpieces in an antique shop, you'd have to dig deep in your pocket to claim it. But today, for one day only, we bring it and much, much more to you free.
We are nice people, there's no doubt about it. When you think of the age of some of these vehicles, it's just amazing how they've been cared for and restored and how beautiful they look.
Look at all that color on those wheels.
Must be Emmy time coming up. Do my ears deceive me, or do I hear the big, impressive Lincoln Way Community High School marching band? They have marched all the way in from New Lenox, Illinois.
Knows what kids want to wear to school and what moms want to pay, like health techs. Boys tops $6.99 to $9.99. Corduroys only $10.99. Tops for the little guys too. Save 25% on Don Moore. Plus health techs for girls. Dresses just $12.99 and $13.99. Tops and corduroys too. Save now on outerwear for kids, like Casual Time and London Fall. And this cute snowsuit. Back to school prices at Boston store better than back to school prices anywhere.
Special times with people who care about you. People you depend on, rely on. People you can trust. That's one reason why my family's been banking at First Wisconsin for more than 3 generations.
Good luck.
When it comes to dependability and confidence, it's First Wisconsin.
Get more bang for your money at First Wisconsin. You get more bang for your money at First Wisconsin.
Where people are first.
We've got what it takes. takes to make it easy. We've got what it takes to make it good. There's nothing you can't do when you know your true value. We've got what it takes, True Value.
The more you have to do, the more you really need True Value hardware stores and home centers.
We've got what it takes, True Value.
This buzz for the crew, restoring America's pride in liberty.
This buzz for you. You know America takes pride in what you do.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this buzz for you.
Hi, I'm Bob Dolan of Channel 4. Your response to our free golf ball giveaway has been unbelievable, and now we want to make it easier for you to get those free golf balls. Just send 4 of these coupons from County Golf Course scorecards and mail them to Golf Balls, Channel 4, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53201, and we'll send you 3 free golf balls. There's a limit of 3 balls per person, and the offer is good until August 31st. So we still want to help your golf game. We just didn't realize how many people needed help. Enjoy it.
An update on the president's condition tonight at 10.
Well, one thing we've learned from the history of the circus, every parade was very carefully planned, from the first bandwagon with its come-on music to the last calliope that led a crowd to the circus tent.
And keeping a parade going smoothly wasn't easy either. We came across an old set of rules laid out by one circus owner way back in 1904.
Now, this is true. This is legitimate. We looked this up. A quote here: if any vehicle breaks down, pull aside, fix it, and get back in place. Don't ever stop the parade. Also a rule that wagon drivers must be clean-shaven with boots polished. I think that goes for commentators, too. No smoking and no chewing. What else there?
Let's see, it also says bands must always play. No stalling and no meshing with pretty girls along the way.
They must have known their musicians even then, huh? So watch out for the next bandwagon then.
Never mind. Let's get back to the parade.
If a contestant on our show, Wheel of Fortune, came up with this word, he'd probably lose. Ready? The word is liger.
Liger? What is liger?
Excellent question. The very rare animal riding in this cage. That's what it is. It's a cross between a lion and a tiger. So we get liger. Could have been a tigan, but we got liger. Also, a very talented lady riding in there from the Carson and Barnes Circus. That was Patricia White you saw.
Back in the heyday of the American circus, everyone had its Wild West show. And here today, we're meeting again some of those exciting performers.
2 banner carriers you've been seeing. They're from the West Allis, Wisconsin Western days. And we're going to see the mounted team from Milwaukee called the Equestronauts. Now, if a rider gets way high off his horse, he'd become what?
An astronaut?
Very good. This outstanding bandwagon originally came not from a circus, but from the famous Pawnee Bill Wild West show at the turn of the century. Notice the carved buffalo heads on each corner fitting the Western theme, and the elaborately carved tableau on the sides. One side shows Columbus discovering America, and the other side, you'll have to take my word on this, we have the thrilling scene of the Indian maiden Pocahontas saving the life of Captain John Smith. And all this is topped off by the colorful music of Arthur Zenz and his circus band.
That must have made little kids grab their parents' hands and back away during an old circus parade. As you'll see, coming up on the side is the famous Charging Bull tableau wagon from Hagenbeck Wallace, one of the fine shows that unfortunately went out of business back in 1938.
Wow, 3D and stereo.
Riding on top, as you can see, are some truly original Americans, descendants of several Wisconsin Indian tribes.
One of the challenges here is pronouncing some of the community names. A lot of them have Indian names. They're very colorful. Now you're going to meet members of the United Indians of Milwaukee. They're wearing authentic costumes of various Wisconsin tribes that include the Sauk, the Fox, and the Winnebago. During the best years of the American circuses, Indians always played prominent parts in their traditional Wild West shows.
Now we have the Dakota Marching Indians from Dakota, Illinois.
This is it, the fashion excitement for Fall 85. The tones, the textures, the total look. It's Liz Claiborne, and you'll find it at Boston Store. Color's the story, and Claiborne is vibrant. She's Liz Sport, making a splash this fall in a weekend collection that's relaxed and easy. Or discover Liz Claiborne in Liz Wear, a casual collection that's big news this fall. Colorful, spirited, and ready for fun. Claiborne also redefines your career look this fall with Liz Spectator. Lustrous knits in a palette of bold, rich colors, sumptuous fabrics and softly draped silhouettes, and classic winter whites and navies of understated elegance. It's a relaxed attitude that means beautiful business. A perfect sense of style, impeccably tailored and totally feminine. Liz Sport, Liz Wear, and Liz Spectator. 3 distinctive collections that reflect Liz Claiborne for Fall 85. And you'll find them all at Boston Store.
I think I'll take this one. Would you like that gift wrap? No, thanks. It's just for me.
Nice.
Cash or charge? Check. I'll need 2 forms of ID. Oh, and Line MasterCard, too. It works just like a check.
You mean the money comes right out of your checking account?
Just like a check.
Convenient. I could use one of those.
You should get one. You better add this umbrella, too.
Elan MasterCard 2. Checking will never be the same.
You can't beat the beauty of natural wood. That's why you've chosen it for your special home. So preserve that natural beauty with True Test Woodsman exterior stains and varnishes from True Value hardware stores. It has to hold up to the elements, repel water and resist mildew, and let the natural texture show through. So select True Test Woodsman stains and varnishes for exterior protection you'll be proud to call home from participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
The Circus Parade is brought to you in part by Boston Store, where you'll find the best prices, selection, and service. Why shop anywhere else?
Back to our parade in Milwaukee and some more magnificent sights and sounds.
Get on the bandwagon. Did you ever wonder where that popular slogan originated?
From the circus, of course. The bandwagon was always first in every parade, and you had to be good to get on it.
That's right. Bandwagons were big enough to hold up to 20 men. There were men then, all men. And what a tough job for a musician. Holes in the road, jolted their wagons, could split their lips, even knock out some teeth.
Can you imagine Doc Severinsen smiling like Leon Spinks?
For some reason, I can imagine that. I don't know why. Clowns were often hired, too, if they could play a musical instrument. Why? Well, to use another circus expression, so they could double in brass.
Time for us to double back into the Great Circus Parade. Now some characters riding out of the past from the Old West.
We have a mounted man there, and an Indian maiden, and 2 U.S. cavalrymen. Well, wait a minute. I think that... let me have a look here. I think actually it was 1 cavalryman and 1 cavalry woman, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's better. This is the New West.
There she is. I'm not sure what is on that man's head, but I'm not going to run out and buy one. It is a beautiful day here in Milwaukee and a beautiful parade which continues now with a rare treat for everybody, but especially circus buffs. It's a sight and sound that always announced to the whole town, the circus is coming. This wagon carries an unusual instrument called the air calliope. Now this, I'd be laughed out of town by the circus people. They call it calliope, so that's what we'll do here. It's made of 43 individually tuned whistles, much like old train whistles. They were not sounded by steam, but really by compressed air. Now, it can be played manually. That's what's happening now, by air pumped through a perforated paper roll like a player piano.
This beauty of an Overland stagecoach always played the star part in the Circus Wild West shows from 1883 to 1940. The drama was always the same: an attack on the passengers in the mail by outlaws or Indians. Then just before disaster struck, a bugle sounded and the U.S. cavalry dashed up and saved the day.
Unfortunately, the cavalry passed about 20 minutes ago, so it doesn't look good for the wagon right now. The great old Hagenbeck Wallace Circus had some unusual cage wagons like this one. It's a three-arched beauty. They had sliding doors at both front and back ends so that when all were lined up, they became one long chute that wild animals could move through into the steel caged arena where they performed. There they are, three bears. They've apparently eaten Goldilocks. And they belong to Mark Schobel of Neshkoro, Wisconsin. Superstation WTBS is bringing you the Great Circus Parade here in Milwaukee, the first time a parade has ever been presented in stereo sound. Well, they don't make them like that anymore. That expression gets new meaning from this spectacular bandwagon with glittering gold carvings and sparkling mirrors built way back in 1879, if you can believe it. After the Cole Brothers Circus closed in 1939, it was saved from the ravages of vandals and the weather by Carson Perry Scott, a Chicago department store. And that great circus band you hear on top from the old Mapleton Circus is led by Ms. Gail Pierce. Over 100 years old, if you can believe it. And you know, these bandwagons that you mentioned earlier really were an advertising tool to get the people out to the circus. Now we can just sit back and enjoy them.
We've been talking so much about circuses of the past. The fact is, many are still alive and well and touring America. For instance, Parson and Barnes of Hugo, Oklahoma, playing right now in Milwaukee and sending us these fine equestrians, dressed in their beautiful bright colors. That's a pretty color, pink, of course, my favorite color.
Pink is your favorite?
Yes, it is.
Things you learn about your co-workers here. Mine is gray. I don't know what that says about me. Folks, if you are enjoying the parade, let everybody know at WTBS. They would love to hear from you. Just write to Skip Carey, WTBS.
Look at these shots. Everybody enjoying the parade. Oh, isn't that sweet?
These are the faces of Milwaukee.
Everyone of all ages can enjoy this parade.
So you can't pose for these pictures.
Wonder what he's looking at.
Wonder what he's eating.
Aww.
That picture's moving. Oh, let's go back live.
There There's a smile.
You know, you never know. In the summer in the Midwest, thunderstorms pop up from time to time, but boy, you couldn't ask for a better day than this. It is beautiful, it is sunny, it is breezy, and the folks are having a great time with the Circus Parade.
I'm having a great time, too.
Yeah. Some more circus folks in this beautiful carriage. This traveling circus is out of Hugo, Oklahoma. Carson and Barnes is the name of the circus. 5 ring big top setup right now in Milwaukee. They're giving 2 performances a day this weekend. Low price admissions for young and old. And by the way, all those proceeds will go directly to the Circus World Museum.
If you were a circus performer, how would you like to have this billing? A blood-sweating behemoth of the River Nile.
No, thank you.
Well, that's just what this star of the Carson and Barnes Circus is called, riding in all the splendor of a specially built old din wagon from the Cole Brothers Circus. Bay windows are built into each side so the animals can turn around, and some circuses boasted that they had several of these big beasts.
That is a hippopotamus in there. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
I have a question for you. What's the plural of hippopotamus?
Well, that's easy. Hippos.
Very clever. The animals think this is a people parade. He's kind of cute. More music from Brookfield, Wisconsin, the Billy Mitchell Scottish Pipes and Drums. The Menominee Falls Saddle Club brings us a romantic scene from the ancient past. 10 mounted knights of the Crusaders. There are also 2 mounted outriders there, and if you're wondering what an outrider is...
Yes, I am wondering.
And even if you're not, here's what it is. It's an equestrian with special duties. He has to be ready at all times to help calm down a bucking horse or something like that. Also, he's free to take care of any kind of other trouble that might develop along the way. And in a parade, you never know.
Boston Store welcomes the return of the Circus Parade to our great hometown, Milwaukee. It's been 12 years since Milwaukee's last Circus Parade, and in that time, the city has grown. We've grown, too, to reflect our customers' needs. When you asked for affordable quality, we answered with our Certified Value program. We expanded your favorite departments to give you selection that's second to none. And to answer your questions 24 hours a day, we installed our exclusive customer hotline. We're especially proud of our price policy. We will not knowingly be undersold. We'll meet all competitors' regular and sale prices on identical in-stock merchandise. Just tell us about it, and we'll make it right. That's our promise. As part of our commitment to Milwaukee and Wisconsin, we will constantly strive to give you the best prices, best selection, and best service. Now more than ever, your best buy is at Boston Store.
This bud's for everyone who puts the roads on the map.
This bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, for you.
If a painting problem has you stumped, let the experts at your True Value hardware store give you a lift. This winter's 16-foot aluminum extension ladder is only $43.99 and has treaded steps for better footing. And before you paint, seal those energy-wasting cracks around doors, windows, and masonry with GE sealants. Your choice, only $3.88. Then finish the job faster and get better results with the Wagner 10-piece airless paint sprayer, only $88.88 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
I went to several dealerships, not only in the Milwaukee area, but outside of Milwaukee. And I came to Phil Token because I got definitely the best deal.
Ask yourself, why has Phil Token sold more Pontiacs in Wisconsin than anyone else?
Why go anywhere else? Why waste time and money when you can get the best price?
For a great deal on Pontiac or Isuzu, shouldn't you be talking Phil Token too?
The deal was just fantastic at Phil Token Pontiac.
Bigger and better than ever. That's always been the motto for circuses as each owner tried to outdo the other.
That's right. Way back in 1848, one circus paraded a 40-horse hitch to a wagon. 10 rows of 4 horses side by side. Look at the poor driver with all those reins in his hand.
Actually, back in 1972, it was repeated in this very parade. One of the most sensational sights from Ringling Brothers was a team of 16 camels hitched to a wagon.
Camels, by the way, are rated the most obstinate and bulky beasts, and they can kick sideways. Sounds like my agent, actually.
Of course, the sensation of all time came when the Ringling Brothers bought out Barnum and Bailey.
He's listening intently to our story. Now get this, they paid an extra $100,000 just for use of the title, The Greatest Show on Earth.
Wow. Right now we're watching the greatest parade on Earth here in Milwaukee, so come join us.
This rig is pulled by 6 big Belgian horses. Its unusual bandwagon sides are covered with mirrors. The flashing effect adds to the colorful vehicle as it rolls down the street in a parade. Plus, you get a chance to check your makeup in it, which is another advantage. Those clowns you saw on top, by the way, are from Mel's Circus Clown Band. Their motto, music to make a fool of yourself by. To do it, right? On a circus bandwagon in Milwaukee on Circus Day. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Here's one of the most massive cage wagons ever built. 15 feet long, 8.5 feet wide, 11 feet high, and it weighs more than 4 tons. The cage has 3 steel mesh partitions that slide out for unloading the animals right into the arena for the big top. Then the fun begins. These 3 African lions may be good friends, but the partitions stay in place all during the parade, just in case. First, friends, notice these huge, powerful horses called Shires.
They're
somewhere in there.
There they are.
There they are. Originally, they came from England and are believed to be descended from war horses that carried those heavily armored knights. Now the special leopard cage wagon, specially built with bars placed close together to keep that lightning-fast leopard from reaching out its paws and injuring parade watchers. And don't miss the fascinating carvings on each side of the wagon. He looks relaxed.
He was just sitting there wondering what the Braves did today. I guess he missed the game. This is really something that you're looking at now. Most Midwestern circus crowds in the old days really had never seen a dolphin, I suppose. But here was their chance to admire this golden beauty on top of a real gem of an old English tableau wagon. Along with other exquisite carvings, it has some dozen mirrors flashing in the sun. It is a beauty. Small and very narrow, though. Its top tier telescopes down into the main body of the wagon. And again, that's so they could avoid low tree branches and telephone wires and stuff like that. I don't know what happened to the driver. I guess you weren't allowed to wear a toupee if you drove it.
Here we have the D.C. Everest High School Marching Band of Schofield, Wisconsin.
It's got to be a thrill for these young people to travel and come here for a big parade like this. The streets lined with really hundreds of thousands of people along the route. And they're very proud, and they should be. They sound good, too. You know, Vanna, this is an exciting day for us. Aside from being at the parade, this is the first time you and I have ever been on the air in stereo. Which speaker do you want?
I'll take the one on the right.
All right. In fact, Superstation WTBS is bringing you this Great Circus Parade here in Milwaukee. The first time a parade has ever been presented in stereo sound.
It sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah. With a great team of 6 Belgian horses pulling this Hagenbeck Wallace 2-arch cage wagon. Really nothing less can do the job because this is a biggie. One of the most massive wagons ever built, weighs 4.5 tons, I am told. That does not include the cougars inside. They are in separate cages, which strikes me as a good idea. During parades, by the way, the trainer very often rode along with the animals. We will assume he did not ride along with them today.
Now to the turn of the century, a golden beauty from the children's section of Barnum and Bailey's original Greatest Show on Earth, built in the mid-1880s. Mother Goose, of course, riding her favorite feathered friend. She's got a broom raised over her head as if she's going to hit somebody.
I suspect it's Father Goose. That would be my guess. We've had a lot of parade, but the crowd very enthusiastic. Yeah, boy, they should be. Some real beauties coming by, including this one, this bandwagon that's really different. It carried what was called a band organ, a mechanical instrument activated by a perforated paper roll like a player piano. And it actually produces the sound of several band instruments. You can get bells out of that, reed pipes, xylophones, drums, cymbals.
I can hear them all. Let's take a look at these banner carriers from the West Dallas, Wisconsin Western days. Holding the American flag.
Boston Store's semi-annual furniture sale is on now, and everything's on sale at 20 to 60% off. Everything's on sale, including famous names like Henredon, Century, Barcalounger, Stearns & Foster, and Cabin Craft. Everything's on sale, including living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, wall systems, upholstered furniture, carpeting, accents, and more at 20 to 60% off. Plus, if you use your CIP account during Boston Store's semi-annual furniture sale, we won't bill you until November 1st on purchases of $250 or more. Ask us about it. Everything's on sale at 20 to 60% off during Boston Store's semi-annual furniture sale. On now at Grand Avenue, Brookfield, Northridge, and Southridge. You know you can shop with confidence at Boston Store. We're committed to giving you complete customer satisfaction. So, why shop anywhere else?
When you make an investment decision to buy or sell stocks or bonds, turn to First Wisconsin Investment Services. Fast service, personal attention, up-to-the-minute market information. And compared to full cost brokers, you'll reduce the cost up to 50% and more. First Wisconsin Investment Services. For people who make decisions.
Take the #1 nugget, the #1 fries, #1 soft drink and make them supersize. McDonald's Chicken McNuggets value pack gives you more of those #1 taste. 11 McNuggets, supersized fries, and a big Coke at a low price. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's value pack.
Buy a value pack for $3.69 and get 50 cents off a 12-pack of Coca-Cola.
Boston Store knows what kids want to wear to school and what moms want to pay, like health techs. Boys tops $6.99 to $9.99. Corduroys only $10.99. Tops for the little guys too. Save 25% on Don Moore. Plus health techs for girls. Dresses just $12.99 and $13.99. Tops and corduroys too. Save now on outerwear for kids, like Casual Time and London Fall. And this cute snowsuit. Back to school prices at Boston Store are better than back to school prices anywhere.
By this time, I'm sure a lot of you are saying, with a touch of nostalgia in your voice, whatever happened to Circus Parade?
Well, a lot of things, actually. Not particularly good. The size of towns got bigger, the parade routes longer, the circus tents farther away, and the people wound up too tired to perform.
Cobblestone streets were paved with asphalt, so heavy wagon wheels sank in and couldn't move. Police complained it tied up traffic for the whole city.
And, of course, during the Depression, lots of circuses simply went broke and closed. These beautiful wagons were pushed out into fields where they were burned or rotted and decayed.
But thanks to the Wisconsin State Historical Society, many of the best have been restored and can be seen at the Baraboo Circus Museum. I've been there, and I was enthralled.
You told me you were enthralled. I remember that. So if you miss the old circus parade, be sure not to miss the museum. And let's not miss this group.
Let's turn back the pages of history now to the Revolutionary War days with this charming pipe and drum corps. These musicians are actually members of the United States Infantry stationed at Fort Myer, Virginia. Their uniforms are patterned after those of Washington's Continental Army. hats, waistcoats, colonial overalls.
And they're a good-looking group, too. Now it's time for Our Country, a blue and gold tableau wagon pulled by 6 sturdy Belgian horses, an exact replica of one built by Barnum Bailey in 1903. You'll recognize 6 presidents up there: Washington, Lincoln, Grant, Roosevelt, and Cleveland. Well, maybe you won't recognize Cleveland, but some of the others. Of course, that was the Goddess of Liberty sitting up there as well. This is an impressive group here. 10 big Belgian horses tugging away. And I'll tell you, when you see all those horses, you know it's got to be something really big back there. A big bandwagon. This elegant beauty came from one of the most famous circus men in history, James Bailey. The band on top is famous, too, especially here in Milwaukee. Dick Strauss and his Many Happy Returns Orchestra, 15 musicians strong. And what a bandwagon they're sitting on. 22 feet long, 5 tons.
It's amazing, all those little things on the bandwagon. How they ever did that. It took a lot of work.
And the color guard is next. There is nothing more American, I think, than circuses. You get that feeling out here. There is a great feeling of patriotism in the air. It may be Bastille Day and it may be a circus parade, but folks are thinking a lot about this country, too. We see a lot of flags in the crowd and in the parade.
This float is moving proudly along Wisconsin Avenue here in Milwaukee with replicas of the original American flag flying in front and a famous lady patriot riding in back. In history, of course, it was the other way around. Betsy Ross, the seamstress and heroine of the birth of our nation, came first. But who are we to be needling anyway?
You're allowed one of those per parade, and that was yours. Talk about an exciting sound here. Semper Fidelis, that's the famous motto of the Marine Corps. It means always faithful. And here they are, the 4th Marine Aircraft Wing Band, based in New Orleans. I have a hunch they have played in a parade or two through the years. What a great sound.
In our Great Circus Parade. Washington crossing the Delaware. The McConkey's Ferry was often portrayed like this in the patriotic section of the old circus parades.
let's welcome and enjoy one of the finest outfits in our armed forces, the United States Coast Guard Honor Guard, from its station at Alexandria, Virginia. U.S. Air Force Band from Chanute Field, Illinois, coming up. It's really a versatile group. And there they are. They'll be playing at the Bastille Day Festival, an annual street fair here in Milwaukee. What is the name of this? Milwaukee is one of my favorite places, honoring the French version of our Independence Day, of course. And that's not all they'll be doing. One part of the band will play top 40, country, western, and rhythm and blues. Another unit becomes the pace setters to play jazz and old big band favorites. I don't know what they do with their spare time. Piano, right?
Yes, I do.
So you've never been in a marching band?
No, I haven't.
All right.
The great lady herself in a living replica, the Statue of Liberty, and carrying the same great message, from every mountainside let freedom ring.
Who is that lady?
That lady is Robine Martin. She's the former Miss France.
Hello, Robine. She never returns my calls.
From its home in Madison, Wisconsin, representing the United States Army, here's the Wisconsin National Guard Band.
Take a look at this magnificent vehicle coming down the street. Fine tableau wagon named for the Golden Twin Lions on top. It is not only magnificent, it's a true antique in every sense of the word. It dates back 150 years to the Sir Robert Fawcett Circus, the oldest circus in England. You know, we've been looking at these beautiful bandwagons and all these other great vehicles, and you almost lose track of how fine those horses look and how they're all rigged up too, and the beautiful mounts and the beautiful way they've been fixed up. This is a great, great parade.
Yes, it is. I will second that. you were planning this Great Circus Parade and somebody said, why don't we include some llamas? What would you do? Answer, sure thing. And the parade officials borrowed them from their friends. 6 from George Chester of Milwaukee and 3 from the Carson and Barnes Circus playing right here this weekend. She's having a lot of fun.
How can you ride a llama and not have fun? How can you ride a llama?
The Marinette Marching Mariners from Marinette, Wisconsin. Yes, the Mariners have landed, 130 strong. So let's have some music.
Indulge yourself in shimmering savings during Boston Store's fine jewelry sale. You'll save 50% on all 14-karat gold chains and charms, 50% on all 14-karat gold earrings, 50% on all diamond jewelry, 50% on all 14-karat gold rings, and 50% on all cultured pearls. Fine jewelry at fabulous 50% savings. It's Boston Store's fine jewelry sale on now at all Boston stores.
This Bud's for all you guys who know it's how you play the game.
This Bud's for you. There's no one else who makes them move the way you do. Come your way. So here's to you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud's for you.
It's clearance sale time at Conn's. Spring, summer, and year-round weight suits and sport coats are priced at just half the suggested retail now. Play it smart with spectacular savings during the semi-annual half-price clearance sale at Conn's.
When you're on the way up, dress the part. Play it smart, make it Conn's, make it Conn's, make it Conn's.
The clearance sale's on now.
Yeah, he's ready.
How does it feel when the phone rings and it's for me? Who's batting? Who am I facing? Nervous? Want the nervous edge.
Come on, let's go get him.
Keep cool. Keep cool.
Keep it down, buddy.
I can't trust what I got in the bullpen. Here goes nothing.
Sports Illustrated. Get the feeling.
All in Baraboo, Wisconsin at the Circus World Museum. Open daily through September 8th.
In the heyday of early American circuses, the size and importance of any given show was determined by the number of elephants it owned. Well, today in Milwaukee, we are parading a herd of 11 elephants. There's 11 there. 6 of these...
Count them here. Hang on. 1, 2... Well, I don't have time. Go ahead.
Okay, trust me, trust me. 6 of these beautifully costumed animals belong to the Carson and Barnes Circus, and 5 belong to Tony Diano's Buckeye Circus of Canton, Ohio. The star is Big Tommy, the Titan Tusker of the circus world.
They all look big to me.
They sure do.
And they're all names. Susie and Minnie and Bunny and Libby. Sneezy, Dopey, and Grumpy.
They have such sweet faces.
Yeah.
Look at that face.
I think he's cute, huh? Well, I guess he is. To another elephant. Well, we promised you something special at the end here, and we've been waiting for it, and here it is. This big, beautiful Cole Brothers wagon with its steam calliope. Oh, excuse me, circus people, calliope. This being played by Herbie Head of Detroit. In the old circus days, the calliope always came at the end of the parade as a kind of Pied Piper leading crowds to the show tent. And no wonder this raucous, blaring sound could be heard for 5 miles. The crew had a player who pulled those brake handles and opened and closed the whistles, and a fireman who stoked the fire to build up steam in the boiler. You got too much steam, though, kaboom, and that could be heard for about 20 miles, I think. What a sound. Well, friends, that is it. I am sorry to say, for the Great Circus Parade of 1985. It has really been a pleasure and privilege for us to help bring it your way from Milwaukee.
Vanishing vistas and how to hang on to them is the basic purpose of the Circus World Museum in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Sad how quickly... I'm so sad.
It is sad.
Vistas do vanish these days.
But you know what? We're doing our part here, at least we're trying to help preserve one part of our American heritage. Hope we manage to do that a little bit.
Now for Pat Sajak and me, Vanna White, may the great Wheel of Fortune spin you good luck.
Nice plug. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
This telecast of the Great Circus Parade has been brought to you in part by Boston Store. For the best service, price, and selection, why shop anywhere else?
And no matter where I've been, where I'll go, you keep calling me home. Calling me home, Chicago.
No matter where you're from in America, Chicago is your hometown. Come home.
It's a feeling that calls me.
Well, little Roy.
Chicago is calling me home.
Sweetheart, what's the matter?
I'm drowning my sorrows.
You are depressing the scenery.
Oh, Mom, I really wanted that job.
I know. But listen, when one door closes, another door opens. I always learn more from my failures than I did from my success.
You mean I can learn from failure?
Yes.
Oh.
You don't want to get a PhD in it, but you can learn.
I won't drink to that.
There's one soft drink that fits the spirit of today, Diet Pepsi, the one-calorie choice of a new generation.